That was really powerful. The third speaker is a hunk, a gentleman, very handsome. I should confirm that. His name is Ken Daniels. I have confirmed. He's a professional musician, started early on in his career with a boy band called Swahili Nation. He debuted in Sweden. I'm sure he will tell us more of that. Ladies and gentlemen, help me in welcoming Ken Daniels.
Hi, everybody. I'm an artist, so my voice is projected a bit higher than most people. When I was called up to speak expert talks, I wondered why they call me, because I'm just an artist. But I'm an artist that has been in the music business for about 20 years. I'm Ugandan, lived a few years in Uganda, moved to Kenya, went to exile, and then from there came back, and then my dad exiled me again back to off to Sweden, where I basically became nurtured into the music industry, and then from there I moved to the States. I would like to share my experiences with what I have gone through my life. I chose to speak about what success means. And the reason why I chose that is because I have seen all aspects of success. I came back to Uganda about 2 years ago, and I was shocked to see what in Uganda success means. Success is a funny thing because it has different implications. In some societies, success is a big ride, is a big house, is maybe many wives, I don't know. But success to me is something that is fluid. It doesn't just stop onto one particular thing. I want to tell you guys a little story. There's 3 guys that set out, an anecdote, 3 guys that set out on a journey to climb a mountain, a big mountain. The first guy gets to the mountain, he looks at it and he says, damn, this is a big mountain. So he quits. I'm not going to climb that. The second guy gets to the mountain, he looks at it and he says, damn, that's a big ass mountain. You know what? I don't think the weather is right for me to climb right now. And I don't think I have the right gear for it. First of all, I don't even have the ropes to climb this mountain, so I think I'm just going to camp around and, you know, give it some time. Let me get myself ready to climb this mountain. The third guy gets to the mountain, looks at it and goes, damn, ooh, what the hell? Big ass mountain again. But this guy, he says, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot and I'm going to climb it. So he puts on his gear, he climbs, it's hard, the weather's not great, but he climbs it. In the long run, he reaches the top. The gist of this story is that there's 3 types of people in this world. There's people that get to the mountain, they look at it, and they quit. There's people that get to the mountain, they look at it, and they camp around because they're waiting for a rainy day. They're waiting for better season. And then there's people that get to the mountain, they look at it, and they know it's a challenge. But guess what? I don't care. I'm going to climb this down mountain. So they start climbing. You need to ask yourself today, where do I fall in that category? Where do I fall in the category of climbing the mountain? Because everything we do in life, somehow, somewhere, it is a mountain. Which brings me back to that thing called success. My parents have been married for 45 years. My dad has been a civil servant for about 30 years. I look at his life sometimes and I wonder, If you took a kid today and told them that those guys are successful, what would they look for? They'll look to find out what car does he drive? How big is his house? They'll look at all the intricate material things that in us, we look for success. We're looking for the big car. What kind of car? Not even the big car anymore. What kind of car? What is the name of the car? But for me, when I look at my folks, I see success. Because how many people here today can say that they have been in a relationship that is more than 15 or 20 years? Not many. So to me, success is not only your relationship, it is how you kept your relationship. Success is not only your relationship, it is the money. Because, hey, I can imagine if my dad did not keep that job for 30 years, I don't know where mommy would be. Okay? So, financial success, relationships with people, and guess what? Sometimes even spiritual success. Because success is fluid. It's something that keeps flowing. And it always does not start off as success. I'll tell you, when we started our group, this group that we started called Swahili Nation, I was a 17-year-old kid in a foreign country called Sweden. Language was foreign to me. Everything was foreign. I bumped into these Kenyan guys who had this idea, let's start a group. And I was like, man, that sounds good. First of all, I didn't even know I can sing. And then I was like, well, okay, let's start a group. That's a good idea. So I remember the first time we went to the studio, we didn't even have a song. The guys were like, okay, we found this Swedish producer. He started making a beat. And I was like, man, I'm so ready for this. So he told me, you have a hook? I'm like, what's the hook? Like the chorus. Oh, okay. Well, what's the beat? So he plays the beat. And I'm thinking like, oh, shoot. I wonder what I should sing. So I told him, yeah, I think I got something. I wrote down something and I was like, Africa's my land. He's like, nah, that's not gonna work. Africa's your land. You're in Sweden right now. Come on, homie, get real. Sweden is your land right now. I'm like, damn, shit is real. Okay, so that was the first experience of being in the studio. It was whack. Our first 5 records, whack. We tried to go to every single record label. They were looking at us. First of all, they were like, what's your name again? Swahili Nation. Well, what the hell does that mean? Swahili Nation? And then from there, we started singing. And actually, our first show, we performed for, I think it was like kindergarten kids. True story. And they looked at us like we were dumb. We danced, we did everything, we did moves, and I just saw kids starting to cry. I was like, that's it. I'm going back to school. I remember calling my dad. He asked me like, hey, how did that show go? I'm like, I think I'm ready for college. So I was like, okay, this music thing ain't going nowhere. One day we met a guy that gave us an opportunity. The first thing that he told me was that, Ken, if you want to be successful in anything in life, number one, you need to learn the art of persistence. You need to learn the art of persistence. Number two, you need to learn the art of resistance. You need to resist the need to quit. Because think about it, every single time you're up against a challenge, the first thing that comes to your mind is what? Damn, I need to quit. If you saw a beautiful girl by the bar side, and you're like, you had all you thought about every single word that you could throw at this girl, like, she's gonna have me. I know she's gonna have me. And just as you start walking towards her, this guy who you saw drive up with a Porsche pulls up to her and starts talking to her. You're like, damn, I have to quit. Because how can I compete with that, right? At the end of the day, our brains are wired to quit when we see things that seem to be bigger than what we can handle. So every time you come to that mountain, the first thing you look at is the gear you came with. You're looking at your rope, you're looking at your shoes, you're looking at everything you're carrying, and you're saying that, I don't think I can make it up that rope. But I have seen people that climb mountains with no ropes. People that use their hands, they got skills. And I'm thinking to myself, how the hell do they do that? There's something about them that tells them that I want to climb that mountain and I don't need this gear. So the first time that we were told, somebody came and told us that there is a wild rap telephone competition and we want you guys to join it. And I looked at my guys and I was like, you guys feel like you're ready for this? And the guy was like, I think you guys can do it. And I told him that, well, first play us what the other competitors are going to sound like. And he told us that, why would you want to hear what your competitors sound like? And I say, well, because I want to know so I can be ready. And he's like, you see, that's a trap. That's a trap. You're trying to look at what your neighbor has got because you're trying to set yourself up. You know what you know what you're setting yourself out to do? To quit. So he told us, don't look at what they're doing. Try and craft something that you know and you have confidence in that it will succeed. And that was our first mission, was to go to that World Rap Telephone competition. And we did not know what everybody else had prepared. But we knew that we had to get somewhere. We were not even worried about winning. Winning. That's another word I want to talk about. Because a lot of times, every single thing we want to do in life, we are so worried about whether we are going to win that we forget about the journey. We started the journey of trying to practice for this competition, and as we progressed, we got better and better and better. At the end of it all, when we came to this competition, we came out as number 2 out of 3,000 people. We were signed to our first deal. It was not a great deal. In fact, the record company was called Gold and Silverfish Records. And I was like, how do you win with that? Gold and Silverfish Records? When the guy came to us and said, congratulations, you're signed to Gold and Silverfish Records, I was like, no, I wanted Universal. First prize was Universal Records, second prize was Gold and Silverfish. Who thought about that? Anyway, we got signed to these guys, and we came up with our first single. It was called Nasty Booty Bags. True story. You can go on YouTube and look for it. Nasty Booty Bags. Hey, that was the 90s. You know, we grew up with Belle Biv DeVoe, New Edition and all that, and everything was about booties and bags and all that. So we actually put out this single, and that's the first time that I knew that never sign to somebody who thinks smaller than you. We had big dreams. Gold, Silver Records had small dreams. They put a fish on our single, a golden fish. They didn't even put our faces on it. So we had this big golden fish on our single, and we went out saying that, oh yeah, this is a single. We went out distributing it. And people look at it and go, where you guys at? There's a fish on it. That's the label. We put out that single, went absolutely nowhere. We still love that song. And then after that, we kept on performing and performing and performing. And at some point, my mom called me up and she said, Ken, when are you going to quit? You've taken this hobby as far as you can. And that's the first time I knew that everybody around me did not think that this shit was serious. That's another trick. Every time you try to follow your dream and somebody tells you that it's not serious, that it's a hobby, that when, you know, this is the thing about artists. How many of you think that being an artist is a job? It's a passion, right? You think it's a passion? You think it's a job? You think it's a hobby? All right. How much did Jay-Z make last year on his passion? Some dollars. You bet that's right. So that's when it hit me that, okay, so because every single time I met a relative of mine, they asked me, what do you do? And I told them that I'm in the music industry. And they said, oh, that's wonderful. That's great news. So what do you work with? And I said, I work in the music industry. I know you did, you say that, but what do you do? Every day when you wake up in the morning, what do you do? And I told her, I work in the music industry. And she said, how do you make money? And I said, oh, wow, that's a big question. That's when it hit me that I was doing something that was not making money, so I was not on my road to success, and I needed to define myself as somebody that needs to be on the road to success. That means I need to make money in order for them to understand that being in the music industry is not a hobby. So we went out and started crafting a way to get in a place where we can actually make money. I'm going to tell you this. One day we're performing in a club, and somebody told us that the CEO of Universal Records was in the crowd. And I told my guys, this is it. We need to put on our best foot forward, and we need to kill it. We did. He invited us over to Universal Records in Stockholm, and we signed our first deal. They gave us a big budget. And I asked myself, wow, this is what it feels like to be successful. But it was not. That was just a beginning of a journey. And that's another thing I want to talk about, because we think about success as, so today if somebody came and told you that I just gave you a job to be this and that, and that's what you always wanted to be, guess what? You jump up in the air and think, oh my gosh, finally, finally. But that's just the beginning. You're overlooking the steps, the journey, everything else that you have to do to get to a place where you're comfortable. How much money have you got saved, homie? What are you doing to impact somebody else's life? As you're here cherishing the moment of having gotten signed, I'm serious, like we got signed today, and the next day I got a call, and my pops told me that, listen, do you got some money because your aunt needs some money in Uganda? And I was like, because I had just told him that we got signed. We got signed to a multi-million-dollar deal. I was like, Dad, this is it. This dude did not even wait for 1 week. He called me up and told me that people need money home. I was like, what? What you mean? He's like, but you're doing well. You're successful now. I'm like, no, hold up. That's not how it works. He's like, how does it work? Okay, well, you know, we need to wait, you know? Like, there's a process. You know what I'm saying? We need to put out some records, and they need to sell. He's like, oh, okay, so you're not successful yet. No, Dad, I got the deal. I'm trying to tell you I got the deal, but now I need to put the records out. And you know what? They gave us an advance. Everything was great until one day we woke up and they told us that the CEO of Universal that signed us got fired. And he got fired along with every single product that he has signed. So I told the guy that, oh, that's terrible. So what's up? When are we getting our second advance? He's like, didn't you hear what I just said? The CEO got fired along every project that he signed. I'm like, no, you don't understand. My rent is up. I need to pay bills. And my girl, she was looking at me like, shoot. You start applying for them jobs. I'm like, I can't do that. Well, what do you mean apply for them jobs? I remember the first job she brought me was to work in a Foot Locker. And I was like, come on, I've been on stage. How's people going to see me now in Foot Locker? Selling sneakers. And she's like, well, how am I going to see you when you don't have no money to buy us bread and food? Who are you more worried about? The people at your house or the people on the street? And then I had to balance both those things. You know, going to work like this in a hoodie. You don't want your friends to see you. They're like, Ken, is that you? It's like, nah. One day after we had lost that deal, we met a Nigerian artist called Dr. Alban. Dr. Alban had a label called Dr. Records. He gave us an opportunity and told us, I want to see you guys in my office. We went over there, and he told us, I want to listen to all the songs you guys did. We went through every single song, and every single song was a nah, nah, nah. And he was about to give up when he heard, when he heard a chorus of a song that I had started writing. It was called Mpenzi. He didn't understand it. He was like, I like this melody. So he said, why don't you guys go ahead and finish this song, and if you have something that I think could work, maybe we can start talking business. So I called up my homie, Charlie King, told him that we need to make this happen ASAP. So we went in the studio, and we made like 20,000 different versions of Mpenzi, and none could work. Everything we played, he was like, nah, nah. One day I was chilling in my living room, and Marvin Gaye came on, and I heard that song, and as it was playing, I started singing along with it, and I was like, that is it. That's it. That's the melody. We went in and recorded that song. Long story short, Dr. Alban gave us a chance, and that chance took us to so many different places. But why I wanted to talk about success is because that song alone, that one little step that we made a big impact, not only for us, but for a lot of other artists in East Africa and Africa that did not believe that music could make money. I remember I met a young guy called Chameleon, way back, and Baby Cool, way back. We were doing our tour in Nairobi, and as we were coming in to the show, it was a lot of people, carnival, a lot of people. And in the crowd, I heard a guy screaming. Everybody wanted tickets. And they were walking us along, and I just heard this guy screaming in Luganda. And that caught my ear, and I turned around and I said, who was that? And it was Baby Cool. I got him in. We became friends from that day on. And he told me that you guys have done something that I think can help us move on to the next level, and you don't even know it. Today I can tell you that when I came back here 2 years ago, after not being in Uganda for such a long time, I found an industry that is vibrant, that is moving, that is growing. I mean, they even have beef. Like, you know, poor people don't beef. Poor people just trying to make money. But these dudes, they even got beef. I was like, you know, I met Camille and I was like, yo, Camille, come on, let's go say hi to Baby Cool's right over there. He's like, I don't talk to that dude. Oh, why? He's not like me. I'm dope. I'm like, man, so Tupac and Biggie? What? We are on that. That shows you that the industry is growing. That shows you the industry is growing. Success to me is not about just material things that you have gained in your life. It is about the impact that your success makes on the next person. For you to just have that cake in your house and eat it by yourself, all to yourself, what does that mean? I like what the gentleman before me talked about, collaboration. Because these things are related. And even the gentleman before that, they're all related. Without collaboration, you cannot find success. Every single person needs to have somebody else to lift them up. Nobody started a journey without somebody giving them a little push. Nobody started a journey before somebody believed in them. Of course, you believe in your passion and your dreams first, and then somebody else has to carry it along. I found some quotes here that I love. One says that success in life happens when you simply refuse to give up with goals so strong that obstacles and failures and loss act as mere motivations. That is one of the driving factors in my life, that I have found those obstacles that I've had to jump over. I have come across many mountains that I had to climb. And having lived in America, where success is always thrown in your face, you find these guys, they're throwing success in your face. Damn, homie, look at the car I'm driving. You're like, damn, I can see it. Damn, look at my house, I can see it. And then you come to Africa, where people have to live and struggle so hard, and yet you see success stories coming up, new ideas popping up. And I felt, when I looked at it, I was like, I want to be here. This is the boiling point. This is the place, this is the next generation of success. This is the place where we can now start. We're building little bricks and trying to build those pyramids. But it's going to take collaboration. It's going to take patience. It's going to take a spirit of not giving up. But one of the things that I've seen in these countries of ours, in Africa, that is very, very extremely important is there's some evils and ills that we need to get rid of if we want to find our full potential and our full success. I don't know if you guys have moved around. Every single place you go in Uganda, whether it's a security guard, whether it's your house person, whether it's I don't know, there is this need for quick money. This need for quick money. People are always trying to get a quick dollar out of you. I've never understood that. I've been trying to understand it. And then finally it hit me. When you live in a society where people do not allow other people to grow, there's always going to be somebody on the losing end. Somebody who's always doing this. In America, we call it trickle-down economics. You know, the Republicans believe that you have to let rich people become really, really, really rich, and then eventually it will kind of start trickling down. The truth is, it never trickles down. That is the truth. It never does trickle down, because at the end of the day, if you underpay that guy, he will never ever be able to make it to a place where he can be able to sustain himself. So he's always going to be doing this. Please help me. Please help me. And we don't need a society like that. We need a society where people actually care about the society. Where people believe that their success is not just theirs by themselves, but the next person who's coming behind them. And that's what my daddy told me. He told me that every single penny that I make is not just mine. It's for you, for your sisters, for your brother, and everybody else that we have to help. That's what it takes to build a successful society. A successful society is a society that cares about the whole society and not just every single individual. I believe in Uganda. And I know that my journey here is a complex one, because I found myself on Rated Next, a TV show on Urban TV, judging. I had never traversed this country, had never gone around Uganda. I got a chance to do that. And in the process of doing that, I met a lot of young people that had huge dreams. And I asked myself, how are we going to sustain and help these young people build these dreams. They need to build their story from the bottom up. And people like me, I hear the reason why I came, why when Nuba invited me, why I thought it was a good idea to come, is I wanted to share my story, but I also wanted to testify and say that my success did not start from the top, it started from the bottom. Had to go through a lot of crap. I didn't have all the gear to climb the mountain, but I had the patience and I had the persistence to climb it. Thank you very much.